Steve Newport on the interchange here. He had the job on Atkins in the first half. So is St Kilda going to attack at all costs, I wonder? They must kick goals into the breeze.
Well, they have to attack. We see Winmar lining up on Atkins. Now, I just hope that Nicky Winmar doesn't play too much a defensive role.
57-20 at half-time. Vidovic wins a tap. Dwyer tries to break a tackle. And a second one. Liberatore had hold of him and wins the free kick. So he starts the second half as he left the first. Maybe the smallest man out there, but one of the really outstanding players in the AFL. Here's Wallace, 200th game. What a celebration for him if the Doggies can march on to a preliminary final. There's a long way to go yet. A lot can happen in this game in an hour. Chris Grant, who's kicked 4 goals to date, didn't give the handball off, thought he should have. Now goes to Atkins. Still Atkins, keeps his balance, goes for goal and kicks it. What a start! Well, if that wouldn't break the back, I don't know what will.
That is a real heartbreaker, that, isn't it? Seconds into the first quarter, into the third quarter, as they did in the first quarter, Footscray scoring a goal, and Grant really should have gone the option the first time, although he did draw 2 players towards him and gave Atkins a little bit of space, and Atkins really just threw that ball onto his boot, wind behind him, and it sailed through for a very handy goal this early part of the third quarter.
Well, we're back in the centre. It's going to need a miraculous effort here by the Saints. That was Ralph Smith trying to crush his way through. Now Winmar, a hurry kick to the half-forward line. Pretty Hook kept his eyes on the ball. Robert Harvey to the half-forward line. Dale kick it, tried to trap it. Quick hand pass. Came from Tui. On to Mansfield. Now Baxter. Darren Baxter, good reliable player to centre wing. David Grant can't take the mark. Harvey, quick hand pass. Nathan Burke. Winmar trying to lift his side. The ball again holds up in the breeze towards the half-forward line. Crediok drops it. And he gets the free kick. He put the ball on the ground. He might have been caught a little bit high.
And as Jared Healy suggested at half-time, Devonport has gone to a forward flank. And Nathan Burke is now picking up Colin Yook in the back line.
Well, it was just high, wasn't it? The centre of the ground, good mark taken by Vidovic on the Burke.
Quick kick, Wind attacks it. Oh, does it very well, the big man. Clever to Corcoran, to Atkins, to Liberatore, to Baxter. A training drill suddenly for Footscray to fall forward. Hawkins. Captain Courageous. Well, he missed one in the second quarter into the breeze, and he rarely misses them, Dougie. And the Saints are right up against this. 287 games. He's kicked 37 goals this season. Drop punt. He's kicked it through.
Hit the post.
Just hitting on the line. Hawkins with 1-2 and one out of bounds on the full. And unlike Hawkins, he's missed two that you would bank him in for normally at 10-4 to 3-2.
Russell Morris to the half-back line. Whenever it's been a loose ball, it's been Footscray with the ability to grab it. Oh, Winmar playing a great third term. He's lifting this, trying to lift this side as he brings it to the half-forward line. Up they go. It's no mark. The ball hits that X. Stephen Crediok mopping up into Atkins. Cleverly done, Atkins. It was McDwyer, they were intercepting. Liberatore. Now Dale kick it. They need 2 or 3 goals into the breeze, the Saints. Here's Winmar playing a magnificent term. The booming kick to the half-forward line. And a good no mark, in fact. Here's big Tony Lockett. Lockett kicks. Devonport races back with the flight. Let's see what he can do with it. Devonport chips in a goal. And he's in his rightful position. He puts it through. Maybe they can mount something. Lockett's certainly not letting them down. Craig Devonport kicks his first, and they must play him on the forward line.
Yes, and that was a good play then by Dwyer just to make that a crumb. He really had to commit himself then, making sure that the ball came to ground, and then Lockett picking the ball up and snapping it over his shoulder for Devonport. And that was a critical goal because I felt from up here that Footscray were just about to burst this game right open, and now they really have to got a lot of work to do in this third quarter again.
10-4, 4-2. Wine won the tap. Burke from the centre to half forward. Lowe and Reynolds. First mark for the day for Big Stewie. His first grab, gives it to Harvey, put him under pressure. Harvey had to give it away to Winmar, conceded some ground. Round the body, Reynolds takes the mark. Probably just a bit anxious there, Lowe, after taking a very strong mark. His first grab for the day. And just put Harvey under some pressure. Reynolds with good distance to centre wing. Chris Grant clever. Nathan Burke gets back, misses it. Gets back on it. Kellett put a good tackle on him. Grant well played to Collingwood. Options are opening up. Goes wide. Del Rey on a long lead. Shanahan attacks it. McPherson off the ground. Pekin. Now Corcoran back there. Well played McPherson. Corcoran's left foot goes for goal. Into the square. Front spot is Hawkins. Off hands. Getting back Burke. Concedes a behind. 10-5, 4-2. Next goal vital here. Saints, as Frawley looks on, must get it into the breeze.
And there's Barry Stanfield on the right of screen looking on, and well, he'll be happy with what he sees at the moment.
I don't think Terry Wheeler's had to bring one of the hasn't made a change all day.
They're both very fresh on the boundary line, whereas St Kilda have been using their interchange players.
Well, here's Pekin at half back. They really have to mount something in this term. They have to be within 3 or 4 goals at three-quarter time to have a chance. Oh, Shanahan took a punt. He gets away with it. Jamie Shanahan, improved player, good kick. Centre wing is Ralph Smith. He's off. Now there's no one leading, so he was forced back onto the left foot by no one there leading at half forward. Here's Lowe. It's stumped the ground. Doing the roping is Steve Credial. A quick kick to centre wing, and there's the man of the match, Chris Grant.
4 goals in the first half. Goes up towards Hawkins. Uses his body cleverly, but Vidovic gets back. Left-hand handball to Winmar, who's been prominent. Oh, clever. Really good vision there by Winmar to Burke. Burke back to Grant, though. Stands his ground. Well done, McAdam, to rip it off him. Suddenly, St Kilda finds something. Kick it. You get the feeling the Saints are mounting to Daniels. Lockett's in the square. Daniels goes with a wobbly one. Big Tony in the front spot. Play on called. Is that deliberate?
That is deliberate.
Free kick to Lockett. In the pocket. Get the feeling, Tim, a St Kilda goal here could turn the whole match around.
Yes, they're starting to run, and they're starting to win the ball around the pack, St Kilda, and they're starting to move the ball down the field.
Devonport on a lead. Crediuk did well not to interfere. Campbell with an opportunity. Panicked a little. Kicked it very quickly. Grant, who had to be taken from the ground in the first half. Daniels. The handball was okay. Ralph Smith tries to shrug a tackle. Takes a long time, runs out of play. A throw in at half forward, but at least St Kilda in attack into the breeze. It's 26-65.
Because they seem to have regained some sort of composure, St Kilda. They panicked in the second quarter, but now they seem to have settled down a little bit, and Footscray seem to be a little bit shaky.
Oh, a flying kick by Lowe. Knocked out of the hands of Ralph Smith. They've got to get some run out of Robert Harvey. Here's Bowie. Bowie trying to get onto the left foot. Brings it in towards the half-forward line. McAdam. He might be a little bit too far out. He's got a kick from 40 metres. Well, we saw in the second term a couple of the Footscray players make the distance from there. On this side of the ground, Gilbert McAdam. Gee, this would lift them if he could put it through. The pressure on him. 40 metres. Not solid footing as he kicks. It's not a bad looking kick. It starts to swing. I don't think enough. No. Just didn't come back enough. And a look of disappointment on his face. But at least they look a better side now as looking on Terry Wheeler and former champion fullback Rick Kennedy.
Still a long way back, isn't it? At 4-3 to 10-5 on a day where goals are difficult. Campbell attacks by going straight down the centre to Coleman. A good thump away from Grant. Harvey can go for goal. Drop punt, sizes it, kicks it. Well, the Saints are alive now. They're back in with a sniff at 5-3 to 10-5.
You can really feel the momentum shift in this game. Harvey's been quiet. A great bit of crumbing then from him. And you've got Winmar starting to get into the play. McAdam starting to run. And St Kilda looking a much better combination in this third quarter.
All of a sudden the Saints have lifted. They're back in with some chance now. Liberatore gets out of centre. brings it to the half-forward line. One-on-one contest. Morris, experience, goes to the line, and he disguised that very, very well. It would have taken a brave umpire to have paid that for deliberate, but he did it well. His experience, and that showed out. And that other goal to Harvey down the other end started from disciplined play by Grant to thump it forward when he could have been tempted to go for the mark. Here's Steve Wallace lying over the ball. Umpire calls play on, and it will be a bounce.
32-point margin as Harvey has had 11 and 5. Newport and Fletcher on the interchange. Newport reasonably successful in the first half as a tagger, but a change in emphasis from Ken Sheldon this half. Grant bursting away, but not before Grant Vernon had blown his whistle. Sun shining through on a very difficult day for good football. The last finals match for this season at Waverley. Winmar. Grant caught, good tackle. Ball up at centre-half forward.
So they were a bit lucky on that occasion. Winmar didn't realise that there was a player breathing down his neck. He went towards the centre of play, a very dangerous place to be with the Footscray players about to sweat on him.
Vidovic won the tap. Greg tries to burst his way through. Wallace's quick kick. And well played there by Shanahan. He's done all right on Delray. Delray kicked a spectacular goal in the opening quarter.
As Delray hasn't played a great part in this game. Shanahan, who of course shut Peter Dacos out of the game last week.
Vidovic and Coleman. Coleman takes it out of the air, gets a quick kick. Here's Grant, good tackle though, holding the footy. Free kick to Morris in the back pocket.
Yes, it's important that Russell Morris contains Grant. Grant is a star in the first half. He had... And the youngster, Michael Frost, is warming up on the boundary line for Footscray. They might be forced to use their first interchange soon. Socket off the ground by Callett. Here's Corcoran. Shannon Corcoran from centre wing brings it into half forward. Vidovic in the hole, and he goes back to take the mark. And he's another one of the greatly improved players. On to Dean Gregg. Gregg kicks it wide. They've got some run here. Will it sit for Bowie? He waits. He's got it. Bowie kicks long to the half-forward line. Dale Kickett using the body. He goes to ground. Still Dale Kickett. Well played, Dale Kickett. He's dodging, weaving. Gets in a hand pass. He's got backup support from Daniels. He's lost it to Steve Wallace, though. And Wallace kicks it to the half-forward line with David Grant. Races back in desperation to take the mark. They've lifted the Saints, no doubt about that.
Kolonyuk off, and Frost has come on. Here's Harvey in the corridor. Tries to break the Kellett tackle. Daniels goes to ground. Play on call. Footscray rip it off St Kilda. Kellett's left-hand handball. Try to half-volley McPherson. Coleman clever. Off the ground. Gains 40 metres. Attacking at Greg. Only as far as Chris Grant. Sidesteps once. Chips it beautifully to Hawkins. Here's a goal. Handball over the top. Delray through. Easy as you like. 11-5-5-3, and it all started in the centre square when Footscray turned it over.
Yes, well, it started back at centre half forward for St Kilda when Kickett really should have, rather than trying to control the ball and do something himself, he should have knocked it out. They had the numbers at that situation, and Footscray rushed the ball forward, and then Dean Gregg tried to kick the ball off the ground. He should have picked the ball up, making sure of it, kicked the ball straight back to Grant, and the St Kilda defence was offside.
A steadier for the Bulldogs, 11-5 to 5-3. It's still a terrific lead as Winmar. He's had a terrific term to the half-forward line. Tui goes to ground, push in the back, says the umpire. And a free kick to Bernard Tui at half-back. Tui brings it to the half-forward line. Should be a St Kilda mark. Oh, no, it's dropped. It allows Liberatore in. On to McPherson, who bombs it in long. Out they come, and a good mark this time taken by Dean Gregg. Playing in front. Made a bad mistake a minute ago, and he should have picked the ball up. He brings it to the half-back line. Vidovic. Oh, he's outmarked. A beautiful mark in front by Darren Baxter.
Yes, he should have gone for the punch then. He's got to bring the ball to the ground when he's caught behind like that.
Baxter way out at half-forward. He's going to kick in short. The lead is on Danny Del Rey. Oh, no mark. Umpire called play on. Tim Pekin trying to pick it up. He's looking for the hand pass. It's a good one too. He's found Mick Dwyer. They're looking to create a loose man. There's no one leading for him. In towards half-forward. Stewie Lowe in front of the pack. Couldn't mark. Here's McAdam. Oh, great play, McAdam. The dangerous Devonport. He could have a shot for goal from 50 metres. He bombs it in. Oh, I think he's kicked it. Yes! Craig Devonport now playing on the forward line has kicked 2 and the Saints won't lie down. They've moved on to 6-3. Footscray, 11-5.
Once again, that's Gilbert McAdam, who's been shifted up across the centre line. He's been involved in a number of passages of play in this third quarter. And Devonport, who's definitely a forward, creating for St Kilda up there too.
3 goals to 2 in this third quarter into the breeze by the Saints. Mounting their challenge for the day. Vidovic went to go off the ground, saw a St Kilda player run across in front of him and checked his kick, and he's just hurt himself a bit. And that player was that man there who's had a tremendous influence on this third quarter.
He's lifted them, hasn't he, Winmar?
15 and 4 he's had. Vidovic won the tap. Atkins, well played. Daniels just kept it in. Liberatore Dwyer, and again a ball up.
He's a very hard player, Daniels. He's always in their eyes, always for the ball. And sometimes just a guy attacking the ball like that can create some sort of an advantage for your side.
Liberatore, oh, clever. Atkins, well played to Wallace, who sweeps it to Mansfield, who should give it to Grant, and does with a precise kick at half forward. Well, they've had the answers, Footscray, and if they get the next goal, you feel that the Saints will be too far back. A great kick to Hawkins. And that all started with Liberatore winning the hard ball out of the centre.
Yes, he did the hard work in the centre. It was interesting then when Wallace had the ball, he sized it up and gave it to Mansfield, who he knew was a left foot kick and the best option.
Well, he's missed a couple today, Dougie. He's normally so good. Drop punt. It's a good-looking kick coming back strongly. It's a goal. That's a captain's goal. Dougie kicks his second. And, Tim, every time the Saints raise the hopes of their supporters, Footscray has the answer.
Yes, they're doing very well in that department, Footscray. We saw Credic just come off the ground and Stansfield coming onto the ground. He appeared to be injured, Credic, so let's hope it's nothing serious. But Footscray have had the answers in this quarter, and St Kilda are playing a lot more committed football, but maybe they've let that lead get away far too much in the first half.
Centre backs, very, very important. That quick kick was by Frost to the half-forward line. McPherson shuffles it out. Oh, free kick to McAdam. He was caught high, and he's worked hard in this term too. But they have to be within 3 or 4 goals at three-quarter time, I would think. To the half-forward line low. Oh, geez, been disciplined there. Keenan Reynolds. Mick Dwyer, very skillful player on the left foot. Oh, Lockett caught behind Campbell here. Campbell will take this to the line. Disguised it well, but his intention was to get it over the line.
What's the situation with Credic, Bernie Quinlan?
Yes, Bruce, well, Steve Credic has a problem with the left hamstring. The physiotherapist has applied ice. He doesn't appear to be too good. In a bit of pain there, Steve Credic. I don't think we'll see much of him throughout the afternoon now, Bruce.
So they might be down to 19, Footscray. Winmar trying to barge his way through.
He's hurt his shoulder then, I think, in that clash. I think he's hurt. That's disaster.
And St Kilda making a change. They're putting Morris back onto Del Rey, and they've brought Shanahan out onto Chris Grant.
What's he? Dips the shoulder, bang.
Oh. He's running into a Stanfield hip and shoulder now. Winmar off the ball, as you can see, in real sorts of trouble. It's the man who's sparked the Saints' mini revival. Wines kick out the centre wing. Coleman and Grant. Grant and Coleman just hanging off him. Well played, David Grant. He's done a couple of good things in this term after being beaten in the first half. Wine getting back. And Lowe looking for a free, and against him for holding the footy.
Winmar coming off.
Yes, I've just been keeping my eye on him, Peter. What a blow this is for St Kilda. They're a real playmaker in this term. Part of the engine room with Harvey, and are now going off the field.
Bernard Tui. Right out the centre wing. I think that's out in the full, it is. And that is a blow because he's been their best player in this term. I think he's done his collarbone, I would think, here. As hip and shoulder. Oh, he was the meat in the sandwich, wasn't he, Tim?
Yeah, he might have popped his shoulder, I think.
Now there's Lowe pushing the back. Stewie Lowe. Got to get the ball. Oh, Wine's gone back to man up on Lockett. That's good thinking by the big man. Now Lockett's a chance here. As he comes from behind, thumps at the ground. Atkins. Well done by Atkins on the Campbell. Campbell the clearing kick. Fletcher waits underneath it. It bounces nicely for him. Adrian Fletcher, former Geelong player. A wobbly kick to the half-forward line. Ralph Smith pushing and shoving. Mopping up, though, is Stephen Wallace.
He's done that very well today. Tui sweeps it out wide to Corcoran. Has McPherson wide. Goes out that way. McPherson in front of Peake and Clever. He's had some nice touches today, McPherson.
He's been good.
Centering kick. Del Rey the target, outnumbered. Morris goes for it. Atkins read it beautifully. Sets it up. Wallace goes for goal in the square. Hawkins at the back, waits and kicks his third. Dougie, it's all too easy. Look at that. The most famous of the Bulldogs has a big smile, and that might be it.
So that was sheer class there by Hawkins, wasn't he? He just read the ball so well. He knew that it was carrying with the wind behind it, and Greg should have taken the mark. Oh.
Handy break as we go down to the boundary line. What's the report on Nicky Winmar, Gerard Healy?
Terrible news, I'm afraid, Peter, for Saints supporters and football supporters. They believe initially it's a dislocated left shoulder. He won't play any further part in this game and probably for the rest of the finals if they get up.
Well, that's shocking news for St Kilda as Atkins. Del Rey, no mark. Oh, his teammate got in the way then, I think. Jamie Shanahan hooks it back to the centre of the ground. Coleman's got two to beat. Atkins, hip and shoulder. Bit of ball fighting going on. Del Rey and I think it's Russell Morris having a real punch up behind the play. There they are. They've thrown a few as the kick comes to David Grant at half, but they're still going on with it behind the play. And someone will have to come in and adjudicate on that one. Fletcher, back to Nathan Burke. They need a couple of goals before three-quarter time. Fletcher caught, gets in a hand pass. They're trying to over-finesse. Tapped on by Wine. That was good to Liberatore. Atkins starting to come into the game. Hawkins. Oh, over the back. Dougie Hawkins waits for the ball. Here's another one coming up. Hawkins. Oh, great play by Hawkins. Unselfish as he kicks it to Danny Del Rey.
Yes, well, there are holes everywhere in that St Kilda defence as Footscray moved the ball forward. Atkins really should have given the ball off to McPherson in the first place going into the corridor. He elected to go wide. But Dean Gregg, I think we've just got to shift Dean Gregg away from Dougie Hawkins. He's not a defender. He's not a backman at all, Dean Gregg. Be much better suited to the midfield.
Danny Del Rey from directly in front will kick for his third. And he's gone. So there's a happy Terry Wheeler, relieved Terry Wheeler. 14-5 the Dogs to St Kilda 6-3.
So I wonder how long St Kilda can keep Dean Gregg on. Dougie Hawkins, a very clever player, Dougie Hawkins, and even now I think perhaps Sean Ralph Smith is going back onto Hawkins and Gregg's coming up the ground.
Well, a few missed there. Frost. Mansfield to centre wing, and just suddenly you feel as if with Winmar going off the ground and those goals by Hawkins and now Del Rey that the Saints season is gone. Grant played that well with a half volley. Often doesn't give the reflex handball. Frost, free kick.
Yes, you're right, Bruce. He does try and hold on to the ball too long on occasions.
So Frost from centre wing. Well, the Saints mounted a challenge and they've got to now try and lift themselves against all the odds. Here's McPherson. Been around for a long time. Not quite as long as this man. Hawkins started in 1978 and still going strongly. Atkins goes to ground, gets a free kick. Well, he's made a difference without the Newport tag, hasn't it, to Atkins?
Yes, he's found space in this third quarter.
He's relished the freedom. Now Hawkins was very short, screaming for it. Atkins is going to go for it. Tries a torpedo off the side of the boot and not effective. Dwyer just chips into a space to take the mark and gives it off to McAdam.
Well, nearly at the 5-minute mark to go in this third term. Something has to happen for St Kilda. There's Wine. No mark, the umpire said. And he will come in and bounce, and eventually he's paid the free kick.
Yes, Stewie Lowe went straight into his back.
Wine, geez, made a difference to this side. Just the fact he's there competing and with his height. Keenan Reynolds done a magnificent job on Lowe. And 50 metres. 50-metre penalty on Bernard Tui will take him to 40 to 35 metres from goal, directly in front. What do you think of that one, Tim?
Well,
let's have a look.
What I would like to say is that St Kilda...
He thought he was going to play on. You could see that, couldn't you?
St Kilda are a real chance to develop into a rabble in this situation.
Bernard Tui, well, we'll have absolutely love having a shot for goal. The half-back. He's kicked goals before, and I think he's kicked this one. Yes. So Bernard Tui from the half-back line kicks his first, and Footscray streak away 15-5 to 6-3.
I don't think that was a 50-metre penalty. It's a big penalty, that, isn't it? That brought the ball from almost the wing position to within kicking distance.
(15-5, 6-3). St Kilda out of the centre by Greg Lowe, with him Reynolds, and a free kick now going to kick it at centre half forward. Tui on the mark. It's only his second goal for the year, Tui. He was a leading goal scorer one season at the Sydney Swans. Devonport, good mark.
I have seen Craig Devonport in a couple of games kick 5 goals in a quarter at times for St Kilda. It amazes me why they don't use him up forward more often.
Gerard Healy made the point at half-time that he's not a defender, he's a forward, and he's vindicated that.
Remember one night at the Wacker against the West Coast Eagles.
And then Troy Ugle turned it around in the last quarter.
That's right.
Well, the Saints trail 6-3 to 15-5. Devonport has kicked 2 goals in this term. This is from 40 metres out. Drop punt. He's got the distance all right. It's just going away at the end for a behind. Not an easy kick into the breeze. And when you look at the board, it just seems an impossibility now for St Kilda to get back into the match.
Footscray being magnificent again in this quarter. They've answered all challenges.
Must be a horrible feeling for a footballer when you're just so far down and there's very little chance of a victory. A free kick there to Stanford at centre half back. Sat on the interchange for the first half. Goes to centre half forward. Coleman. Going early was Grant. Frost. Atkins, who's been significant in this term, to Kellett, who takes Daniels on. That's confidence. Keeps it in, no, just out of the end. It did run out. A bit stiff. It's a good move by Kellett, who's been a little quieter today. Had a big first half last week before Simpson turned him inside out in the second.
He actually is a very dangerous player. Kellett can kick long goals. There's Frost, a left footer. Ooh, socketed off the ground. Harvey. Now McDwyer. A quick kick. Baxter waits for it. Here's McAdam. Goes to ground. The ball underneath him. The umpire will come in and bounce. 2.5 minutes to go till 3/4 time, and one would think almost an impossible task for St Kilda. They'll have to make up 10 goals in the last term to win the match. Here's Kellett. Real turn up this, although St Footscray have defied the critics all year. As we see Daniels, Devonport, clever. Lockett, he's got no backup support up there. Campbell and Lockett, socket off the ground by Campbell across the face of goal. Tui will just trickle this over, you can bet on that. Oh, well, in disguise, although it's still, it went straight over the line, Bernard Tui, but he made it look as if he was trying to keep it in, of course.
He had one thought on his mind then, didn't he?
Yes, out of play, and he won it. Keenan Reynolds at the back. Loose ball, Dwyer, left foot, and that's out on the full. Hasn't had an impact today, McDwyer, as he did last week. But he's got some mates. He's not the only one. Robert Harvey's had 11 and 7, but nothing like the match he had last Saturday. Just said, Peter, Footscray this season just keep defying the critics. You think they're down and out, and they bounce back. And they've done it emphatically today. It's been a really outstanding effort. Campbell to half-back, no mark paid. Burke's quick kick back to centre half forward. Dwyer in the front spot, claiming a mark, not paid. Here's Lowe, sweeps a handball. McAdams worked hard in this quarter. caught, kicked by Baxter. Kellett having a good 5 or 6 minutes. Daniels with him, and very happy to see it run out of play. A minute remaining in the third quarter, and the margin is 55 points.
Well, they must get a goal here before three-quarter time, the Saints. We have seen sides get a run on and kick 10 or 11 goals. There's almost a great mark. McAdam, he's trying hard. Carlton kicked 11, I think, in one quarter against St Kilda out at this ground. There's Lowe to Greg. Now he's got to look for Lockett. Brings it in towards Vidovic at the back. Vidovic, is that a mark? No. So it will be a bounce about 35 metres out from the Saints' goal.
Dean Gregg's looked a different player since he went up onto the ball. He's had a number of possessions already in the midfield.
20 seconds remaining. The Saints, well, they need this one and a lot more straight after three-quarter time. 95-40. Nathan Burke, quiet today, 9-2. No real effect on the game. Wind and Vidovic against one another. Well played, Atkins. What a term he's had. He's had 11 and 11 now, 22 touches. And the siren sounds. And after what was a promising start to the second half, turned into a disaster for St Kilda. And at three-quarter time, Footscray lead 15-5 to 6-4.